Right, first of a few videos I'm going to compile together today. Engine hoists. I did the deed and pulled the head off. So that's over there. Basically the block looks healthy enough. I haven't turned the crank yet to have a look down all four balls, but at some point in its life it's had a cam belt let go and it's kissed all four pistons. You can see valves, I think, that was the meatiest one. The valves have had a dance on top of those pistons at some point. So it's probably got away with the block being okay and had a head rebuild at some point. So somebody's had this apart. Well, I know they have, because as I'm going through it, there's loads of bits and bobs I'm not particularly happy with. Yeah, I'll show you a few things, but those pistons are in kiss marks on. I'll turn the crank and see what the block's like, but if the block cracks, generally it's identifiable to see already. But I've got one very hairline score mark down this bore, but you can't even get a fingernail into it, so it's just on a visual one. I can't get anything into it. To be fair, I've lost it now. I saw it earlier. Just see it at the top here somewhere. If you can focus in there and see that. Yeah, there it is. But I can't even get a fingernail in. So the bores 2 out of 4 so far look okay. Pistons, yeah, it killed my OCD that well, having valves marks in my pistons. So does that mean engine out? Oh god, I don't know. But we've got the head over here. I'm going to take the hot side off it, but as I come around to have a look at the hot side, somebody's had it up before, and there's a nut and thread missing here. There's a nut and thread missing here. So at pot one, I've got 2 nuts and threads missing. I've got some random looking nut on here. Don't know what the hell that's supposed to be off, but again, kill my OCD. It's on this stand at the minute because I forgot small turbo head, cams out to remove head bolts. Not like the big turbo where you just drop them out the top of the head with the cams in situ. Small turbo head, totally different CNC design heads, different buckets, everything. So basically I've still got head bolts sitting in here at the minute. Yeah, I think I'm 4 or 5 still in there, so don't want to drop her down. It's not ideal to be sat on headstands. Well, it's going for a skim anyway, so, but yeah. Oh, I don't know, like this turbo now, I took it off. It looks healthy. It's a very healthy turbo. There's no play in the shaft, but it looks, it's a baby, isn't it? It's a baby. It's such a baby turbo. Like, actually it's nearly as big as the compressor housing. What would you do? Engine out, leave it in. Engine out, leave it in. Head back on. I don't know. Get back to you in a bit. Right, me again. I showed you the head was off, didn't I? Basically, I've pulled the fanny mould off the head. We had, I think, 4 studs and nuts missing. The more I look at it, the more inadequate I feel. It gives me little man syndrome with this manifold. It's basically a log manifold, isn't it? The standard manifold, which is, well, it does the job, but it's not a log manifold, because obviously this is separate. But first appearances, it looks like a log manifold, but it does the job. That's a Turbo Technics T28, I believe that one was. Like I said, she's sound in there, got no play, but to change that to a bigger turbo, basically to run more boost, we'd have to change the ECU because we're still running the MAF setup, because it's a small turbo block. So as inadequate as I feel, do I want to change ECU and loom? We've got ECU and loom. I think I've got an Emerald kicking about in here somewhere, K6. I was going to use that on something else. We've got this one here. I did pick up a Octane T2 dashboard / ECU for this. I had a chat to a couple of people. It's only cheap, but it looks half decent to manage. But I had a chat to a couple of people and they're like, oh, it's mega squirt, it's this, it's that. But if it works, it works, you know. So I might take the Emerald K6 and put it on here. I think I know people are running Lynx and more modern ECUs now, but the K6 can take a knock sensor. I'm not going to run, don't need to run boost by gears and this, that and the other. It's an old cosy, you know. But to get rid of that MAF and to run a bigger turbo, all I need is an half decent ECU, and mid-range is a K6. I think I've got an Omex as well somewhere. I think I've got a 600 sat somewhere. So 600 or Omex 600 or K6 would do this. But again, does that engine come out? Because, well, not at the minute, because it makes a great coffee table. Best place for a cup of tea. Can't beat a cup of tea. But do we take the engine out? We've got oil coming up off the bottom cranks pulley. I think it looks a bit wet at the back there. I'm not sure if that's just somewhere I've lifted the head and things have poured down. It does look a bit more wet than that, to be honest. So has the back rear crank seal gone as well? I had no clutch slip, never had any problems with the clutch. Don't know what clutch is on it. I know it's fucking heavy. A couple of mates have got in the car and said they couldn't drive it because they're pressing the clutch initially to engage first gear. It's broken the seat, to be honest. The clutch is that heavy. The Recaros aren't great, but if you look at this through the windscreen, that one's on the piss. It's not the subframe of the seat, it's the back. The back piece of the seat. Basically, it's from pressing the clutch. It puts that much weight on the back of the seat. So I've got a box that's been converted for the hydraulic master cylinder to go in place of where the cable drops in. Oh, yeah, so I've got a gearbox as well, you see. Okay, another gearbox. I plug the shifter to put on the box. The box has got to come out to put the shifter on. I just commit and just start pulling things apart, but there's just a steep slope in it, you know, a steep slope. I didn't ever want this car to be, well, the wife didn't help. She came out. See the two chairs there for a cup of tea. Let's sit back down because it's doing me nothing. Yeah, there's two chairs here because the wife comes out when she's painting the house at the moment. So she comes out and stuck her head in the engine bay earlier and says, "That's the dirtiest engine bay you ever owned, Kev." And I was like, cheers, love. I didn't build it. I just pretty much modified stuff in there at the minute, but I've not built the car, so it's an unknown. So her saying that that's the dirtiest engine bay she's ever seen me have is another reason to drop the block, I suppose. What do you lot think? Because, well, I know what you lot are going to say. You lot are going to say, drop the block, tubular manifold, bigger turbo, change the ECU, Gen Vs, pistons, rods, get the crank balanced. I know what you like. You're a bad influence, the lot of you. Right, I'm back from doing this. To explain why my heart's not in doing this winter. Generally, when one of my cars goes, shred it, rip it apart, rebuild. When I first brought this, people will know it looked nothing like this, and we ripped the engine bay apart. As you can see, We jig lined all the fuel lines. We put a nice Cyvex fuel pressure regulator in it. We did engine mounts, drive shafts, CV boots. Basically everything on this car that could perish we changed, because it was sat for, I think it was 4 or 5 years with the last owner and a few years with the one before him. So it needed a lot of love. Did everything bar drop the engine. Had the front cradle off, radiators off, new charge cooler rad, new charge cooler pump. I did everything. I did everything I could think of. So for this to kick me in the bollocks with an egg gasket this winter, it's why my heart's not in it. Well, no, that's not it. I'm telling a lie. I'll explain to you why my heart's not in it. You progress through. You have a certain amount of cars. People who know me, I've got quite a few cars. I plan for the end of the month or next month what I want to do with each car. I like to keep one car on the road at each time, because basically it's nice just to get in a car and go for a drive. So at the moment, that one car that I've got on the road is the Jag. The Jag was booked in with me for end of August, I think it was. I was going to put the ITBs on it because this was still on the road, but now this is off the road, so the Jag's not getting any ITBs any day soon. The reason I'm not jumping on this as a winter project is because I had my winter planned out. Everything was planned out, and I'll explain to you why. Basically, I've opened up. Forgive the lights. I've bit the bullet last night. I've been on eBay and I brought myself 4 6-foot strip lamps, LEDs, 6,000 kilowatts or whatever they are for now. I'm going to put 4 up, maybe some more. Winter's coming in, so I'm going to need some lights in here. But I've opened up these doors because this is the car I'd planned for this winter, which is Lucifer 2. The F2. This winter's build, basically, I wanted this to be worked on. As you can see, she's top spec. She's got the Race Tech dash. She's all carbon and everything, bucket seats, full cage, dry sump in the back, sump tanks in the back. I think what I might have to commit to is getting some new seats. These are brand new seats, motor drive, really nice seats, but this build's been on the go that long. I think I've outgrown the seats, so they're gonna have to come out. There's a lad on Instagram called Matt. I've seen him making some really nice billet seat brackets, so I might commit to getting some new seats and ask Matt if he'll, Matt RS I think it is, see if he'll sell me a set of the billet brackets. But yeah, this car, basically the loom's all done, the interior's all done, cage is done, fuel system needs plumbing in, the oil system needs plumbing in. The magic bit of this motor is this end. Let's have a look. There she goes. 2.2 stroker, RS 2000 platform, 2.3 block out the Galaxy. Exactly the same block, just a bigger bore dimension. So if you try and bore out a 2 litre to that, you can't bore it out to that capacity, but it's the same block, bigger bore capacity. I'm aiming for 300 NA with this. Not out the box. Out the box she'll be around 260, 270. Then I'm going to work my way up. Need better in, but she will be a 300 engine. But the reason I wanted this, to be fair, I've already committed to this over the winter because I got a secret. I'm not going to let it out of the bag yet, but I've spent a shed load of money. I've committed to spending a shed load of money, and for this car, basically, something really magical is coming for this car. The only thing that was missing really to turn it into a full rally car, spec F2 was my interpretation of an F2. I don't want to tell you what it is, but it was a lot of money, a hell of a lot of money, and that was going to be built into the car over this winter and get her running. Head's not bolted on, head's just sat on at the moment. I've got loads of work to. I could talk about this car with you for days, but things like everything's custom CNC'd off a mate of mine called Mike. Like these are kickers already had, I made extensions for my trumpets, and these are kickers to give clearance at the back, so I can have trumpets or the whole trumpet and extension kicking up. It's already direct ahead. My design, Mike produced, Kaboom Motorsport produced direct ahead. I designed that years ago. Yeah, this is the car that I want to continue to commit to for this winter, because she deserves it. It's been a long time in the making. Oh, what we just seen. Look at that. Look at the mess. Oil dripping out my head. Look at the mess on the floor. Thankfully, dusty floor. It'll wipe up. But yeah, this car. Sure. I want to continue with what I have planned for this over the winter, and if I get too carried away with this, or it gets in the way at all, this isn't going to be done as I wanted it to be done. So I want to continue with this. So don't think I'm going to pull the engine out of this as much as people want me to. One day, you never know. As nice as NA is, and I want to hit 300. Once I hit that 300 mark, something like this might be dropped into there. Yeah, so, well, what do you lot think? Do I continue to commit with this, finish this over winter, get this running so I can go out on track days next year and obliterate some other NA 2 litres, 2.2s, 2.3s, whatever. Show them up, because there's some people out there that have got big mouths about the spec of their cars, and I know this car will destroy a lot of people with the big mouths out there. She is an absolute animal, and what I've got planned to be fitting to the car over winter as well will make those track days all the more enjoyable. And I can't tell you what it is. I'll tell you once it's arrived. Cheers.